get started. So once we have our screen model created, once we have our connection created, so let me go there. I think it will help Shubham to mainly understand it. So we'll go to, so this is the screen. So we'll go to create, we'll go to model, right? And then it will ask you
what kind of model to create. Yeah, blank.
No, so it will ask you what are the three options. So blank model would be mostly for the planning model. Interview source from the file you already have it. The data source what you already have connections created that we created yesterday. You can do it from there. For today, we'll just import a file from our site to make it quick. Okay, so we'll go to the source file, and I have already created some sample data, so I'll just upload that. I'll be sharing this exact file also with you guys, and it will understand what are the sheets that is there, and then import it. So basically it's loading because it's an import. The word import says that it is loading the data into SAC. If it's live or real time, it won't load the data. It will just have the metadata created. All your data would be into your main system or base system only. Okay, so here what we see. So the same screen I'm showing here. Okay, so we see the data that has been loaded already. Okay, you get it here. You see the data preview, what is your data. Okay, you see different options here. We'll go through it one by one in detail. Okay, we see the model, the data file you have. Okay, you see the smart wrangling that's coming in. We'll see how it is working. Okay, the crux of your data, what you have, and then you have option to if you to enable it to planning. If it's not, if it's just loaded, it will be analytic model. But if you want to convert this into a planning model, you have to enable it so that it will bring in the other dimension that it needs, like the version, the account would be there, the date, the organization. Those kind of things will come in. We'll be seeing that also shortly. Okay, but we'll be going detail into this one in our planning session. Okay, so that's the screen. So let me switch back here. So we'll see the transformation here. These are the possible actions that you can do. Okay, so main things the takeaway from here is the main changes or the main things you need to do or will be able to do it would be from these options only. Okay, understand this is a SaaS tool, right? So you have to utilize what are the options it gives. Okay, those only you can use. Others are you cannot customize it, right? In other tool like BPC or BU also, you would have certain set of things that you can do. Okay, and there are ways to do some workaround here and there, but you have to play with that basic tool set only, like in Excel also, right, and everywhere. So this is the main area where you will play with your data in your model when you're doing a model.
Sorry, Madhu, to interrupt you. Can you please repeat? I just missed it.
Okay, so what I'm saying is with all this model screen, this is the main area where all the action will happen, right? This will be the main area where all the options for playing with your data, massaging it, transforming it, or doing whatever you can do would be here only. In your interview questions or in your day-to-day work also, if somebody is asking you what are the options that I get for SAC model, these are the 6 to 7 set of things that you can do. Okay, others are just additional thing that we'll be seeing. Okay, so let's deep dive into each of them. First,
hi Madhu, sorry, can I answer some questions if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Madhu, I can see there are 4 measures. How system has identified that measures automatically? Because of the numbers or?
Next slide we'll be seeing that only.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll be seeing each and everything. Okay, but I like and I welcome the question. So after each slide or each section or small section I have completed, I'll be opening it for questions, right? So let's see what's the column level setting which we can do. So what we have seen here is first I just want to show you the menu of file. I don't need to explain. This is save. Okay, you can save the model. You can undo things, redo things. Okay, this is standard. This is the layout. So this is the grid view which we are seeing, where you can see the columns as well as the data here. Okay, and then there is a this view also, which is called as card view. So just click on that card view. So here you'll see that based on the data, okay, that's the smart machine learning coming into play from SAC. Okay, where as we have seen the definition of dimension and measures, that boss, okay, I am having 11 columns. Okay, in this continent I am seeing only the text type of the data, not the numbers. Okay, if I am seeing text kind of data, it will automatically identify as generic dimension. Okay, if it is having only the numbers, okay, like active cases, like, so we have this data for COVID across the cities and countries in the world. So if that there is a number, it will automatically identify as a measure. Okay, so we have active cases, we have recovered, we have date and death, and the date would be also automatically identified based on the format. So it understands behind the scene what is my data, it reads it. That's the smart data wrangling. Okay, data wrangling is like most of the time you might have used in BPC or in BO, the data is not that good. Okay, so you have to make it, okay, it's a dimension, it's a measure, and a few things are missing here, few things are garbage and all that. So it will try to identify by its own. Okay, that's the power it is bringing in and helping the developers to do this modeling. Okay, that's where coming in. One important point I want to show here is, yes, once you click on it, okay, it will start giving you what is the data it has read. Okay, so it understands that there are 5 unique values, total 15 rows. It is data type of text, and what you see here is it's a generic dimension. Okay, if you see here, if it's the generic dimension, okay, so it can be so what are my options? I can change it also. Okay, so I can change it. What are my options? It can be either a measure, and it can be a dimension of this different types. Okay, I'll deep dive into that already. Okay, I'll go into it, but just wanted to show you that there is the type. Then you can add additional attributes to it. Okay, there are set of attributes that we can do. Okay, we'll see that also. It is checking the data quality. Okay, it will check, okay, it should be text or if it's a number, we'll see a number, this one also, and it will automatically check the quality, and if there is an issue, it will highlight that. Okay, it will show you the data distribution also. This data distribution is mostly used for when you're doing predictive and this machine learning algorithm, right, where you will see the how your data is distributed. So I understand that there are 5 values, and there are I have 6 values for Europe, for North America, this one, Australia one, and all those things, right? I can see more for Asia also I have 3. So it shows you that distribution, so you understand your data beforehand. Otherwise, when you start creating reports, then only you get to know that that data is not there, that is garbage or that is bad. Okay, that creates problems. So it is helping you right here itself. Okay, and it's all happening due to the machine learning algorithm behind the scene. Okay, one so in my data, it was continent, it looks good, it's more this is ID, this is also all good to me. You just see this one. So it is the total COVID cases. Okay, and it should be a number. I'm getting all this a number. This is the total COVID cases. But if you see here, it has identified as generic dimension, which is wrong. I'm not saying no, this is not correct. This should be a measure. This is a number. right? So I can change it. I will change it. Okay, and it will change it. So it will change to measure. But what happened? If you see here, there is something red. Okay, why? So you will go to the data quality. It shows you in a red. Okay, it gives you that, okay, the value 28764, and there is a O in that. This is invalid. It's not a number. Okay, it's red. So it is automatically reading your data and telling you, okay, this could be a potential problem. You fix it, then you should go ahead. Okay, what we see, the distribution for measures, you will see a distribution. There we were seeing the distribution through values. It shows you what are your minimum, your median and max values coming in, how many you have. Max value, I have the 5 lakh, my normal minimum is this one, right? So you see distribution also, you see the outliners also. Right. This all terms of predictive we'll be seeing when we are having predictive thing class. We'll go deep dive into all these terms. Don't worry. So and also for my measures. So let me fix this. Right. So I'll go to my grid view, and it gives me in red. Okay, this record you are not having it as a measure. So if you see, instead of 0, I typed by mistake a O. Right, so I'll just click on this and delete it and put a 0 on top of it, and then hit enter. So now it is changing the data behind the scene. Okay, now it is reading again, it replaced it, and then it is showing you, okay, your data quality is now good, right? And also let me go back and maybe change it to O again. Okay. So as you have done, right, it is checking that. Also, if you see at the model level, right, not just at the column level, at the model level also, it will detect, okay, you have created it, but at the model level, you have one issue. Okay, you have data quality issue in your active cases. Active case is your column where you have issue. So it will not give you a warning and not tell you to create it. You fix this issue first and then go ahead. Okay, so that's the power of smart wrangling coming into picture. Any questions on this before I move forward?
Uh, yeah, one question. Like add dimension attribute is like a detail object, right? Like we can have extra information about it.
Sorry, which one we are talking about?
Add dimension attribute. You have shown, right, for.
Yeah. We have it. I'll go through it. Okay. So now going back to this one, active cases. So let me go to continent. Okay. So now coming back to this one, right? So we understood smart wrangling, right? Or what it is doing. Now let's see what are the options of dimensions here. Okay. So we saw measure. For measure it will be 1, but for generic dimensions, generic is your normal dimension, okay, which could be any text, or it helps you to create anything. It can be your country, it can be your customer, a product, or anything, right? It's a generic term dimension that you would be using. A date is a date. You understand that also. Now you see this organization, right? Organization is a term that would be used during our planning model. Okay, it's normally used there. So let's say example of Tata, right? So Tata would have not just Tata Motors, it will have Tata Salt, it will have TCS, and blah blah, all the different bouquet of companies, right? So it's a overall organization, and then under that it could be sub organization, and in that also there could be sub divisions and sub teams. So there is a hierarchical structure in that company. right? So in order to define that, you will use that this organization dimension. Okay, when we go through planning, you will have it defined. Okay, so but in our analytic as of now, we won't be using that. Okay, but I just want you to make it, and we'll go in detail for this organization, and we'll see how it is defined and everything. Okay, so just for now, just understand that this organization is used for planning, one thing, and it is mostly to represent the structure of your company. Okay, then account would also be used for planning, and account is nothing but something called as in BPC term, or in planning term, it's the GL account, right? Where you will have assets, where you will have your expense and incomes and all those things, right? So all those numbers that are required for planning would be used, and that will come under this account. We'll be seeing in detail what is this GL account, what are these numbers, what I'm talking about these terms. Okay, so we'll be covering that in planning. Next is a version. This is also for planning. Okay, mind you, why we already have, if it's analytic, it is the single place where you will do modeling for both. It will be for planning as well as analytic. That's why the options you will see here mostly are having both the things. Okay, so few places where it's specific for planning, I'll be highlighting that. Okay, and when we are covering the planning, we'll be covering that. Okay, so version is also a planning attribute, where version example could be my actual data. So whatever for actual data I am getting, like for the past year, past quarter, that would be one set of version of data I have. I could be planning for my next quarter or next budget, so I will call it as a plan version. Okay, it could be budget version. Okay, so there are different versions that it could be. Okay, so to structure that, because versioning is very important feature in planning of SAC, right? So you can define that versions, how many versions you can have using this dimension. Okay, timestamp is nothing but a standard timestamp. If you have a date along with the timestamp, you use that. It's for the generic one. Okay, so this is next set of options that is available. So organization, account, and version, all these three we'll see in the planning in detail. For now, we'll be seeing measure, generic, and date, and for some places timestamp. That's what we'll see. Any questions here?
One question. Like, as we have a date column in the model, like date column. So, so like if we add attribute dimension attribute as a timestamp, so it will show date and time both, date and timestamp both, or I mean how it will work if we add the timestamp attribute.
Let me change to you. You see, I don't have time there. I will have the date. Okay, but the format it is expecting later is HHMMSS also.
So this means like if we are using timestamp dimension, so we have to put it in our data date with the timestamp. Then only it will work.
Yes.
Okay. I thought if we can add the time attribute and we can put it the data in it, so it will work in both ways.
Yeah. So it is showing you this. Okay. So if you go here and in the date just add like whatever, but it's a manual. We have a small file. Okay. But in practical you won't do that, right? It will be coming from source.
Okay.
You won't be modifying here. You can do this. If you have 15 records, so you just start adding your this one data here. So,
okay, if we are okay, for example, just we have added time here. So do we need to put it as a timestamp dimension, or it will work in the date dimension only?
look, this one got fixed. Okay. It is asking me.
So I think we have to change the format also. Yeah, it takes
One second. I will change it to. Okay, it is expecting everything in my by only. Okay,
Yeah.
there is specific set of things. So that you have. Is it clear? Is it okay? Should I move on?
Yeah.
Hi, Madhu. Shubham here. What about relationship? For example, I have a continent and a country. So that relationship is possible in reports, or maybe the modeling itself we can do that, like hierarchy.
Hierarchy will be seeing. We'll do the hierarchy
Okay.
level. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll be combining the data also. If you have two set of information into different files, we'll combine that and we can see it also. Yeah. We'll be seeing shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. This trial version is slow. Okay, so just be cautious of that. You won't see this level of issue in your normal tenant of SAC. SAP wants more money, so it is asking us to do that. Okay, so I'll just change back to my time date. Okay, and it should change to this one. Okay, and you can see that there is different options also. So this is standard. I think you can change it to whatever you want. You can change it. This is just for that. And for measures, measure, just understand that we are not getting anything attaching the attributes because measures are numbers. Okay, but what you can do is formatting. Okay, so you can have for format define how you want to see. It can be a different way of representing it. You can create a label. So I am calling it that depth, but I can give you depth in cities, right? And then I can define my scales also. So I want to show it in millions. Okay, so or let's say let me put in thousands. Okay, and then you can show that in the decimal places if I have any. So you can just change it to 0, or you want to show it as 2, you just change it. Okay, so this one I think we are good. So when you're seeing that into your stories, you will see that it is changing. Now coming back here, where we saw the ID. Let's say for ID. Okay, let me go back here to this slide. Okay, so we have seen this. Now going next to our properties. Okay, so for dimension only, you will get the properties. Okay, what are these options of properties? So we'll see a description that let's say you have a ID. Okay, so in our case we have so it will give more information to you, your data. Okay, IDs, what kind of IDs are there, what to what field they are related to. Okay, so it adds a description to your ID. Okay, we'll see that. Property would be mostly used to associate info like latitude and longitude you have. But for what is it? For city, it is for a specific location or country or what, right? So you add a property to your data. Okay, if you want to add a property, we'll add it as a dimension there. You can create the hierarchy directly from here also. Okay, while we have option on the top also, so two places you can do that. If it's a currency field, this is also currency is mostly used for planning. Okay, if your dimension is of currency, you just make it as currency, and then you can define it. Okay, so these are the options that you can add attributes to your data. Okay, going back here, I'll let's say for this ID I want to add description and say this ID is for country. Okay, but what happens is it is asking, it is directly checking was you have a issue. You for UK ID, you have two countries. In my data, it's problem that I have some places I have given England also, some places I have given United Kingdom. You should have a consistency with the ID, right? So it is automatically detecting it. Okay, so we'll be seeing, so we can do transformation there. We can use transformation because for small this one we can use that directly copy paste and change it, but the best way is to use transformation. That's why we'll be seeing that we'll be changing that in the transformation using that. Okay, so that's how you will associate your ID with the attribute. Okay, and you can create a property also, right? So what's the property of this one? It's part of, again, wait a second, so let me add it to my active cases, sorry, together. Yeah, so I have a this column called as where I have combined country and city together. Okay, so it's just an example. It could be anything what you want to associate a property with this one. For ID and description, what when we do story, right? It gives you when you are creating measures that sorry, when you are adding dimensions there. Okay, it allows you to change. It asks you whether you want to show ID, if you are using ID, or its description. Okay, there it helps you to bring in the power of SAC there, because it can switch between ID and description automatically. You don't have to have ID column also and description column also. That's where it will be used and will be helpful. We'll be seeing that when we are going to create story. Okay, so let me, I'll just add it as a city. Okay, so I'm adding a property of city to this dimension where it will identify, okay, yes, I am seeing a unique cities here for this what we say together. Okay, so that's what you will do. I have currency field I created, so I just add one currency here. Did I add already? So currency, I think it's not showing me. Okay, I have to add another column as currency in my data to have it, but I cannot do it directly on top of it. Okay, I'll create some data while we are doing practice. I'll show you there. Okay. Okay, moving forward. So this was option for attributes. Any questions here, guys? So let me move to transformation. Let's see the transformations what we have, right? So as we see, there is a problem in few of the cases for our data. So if you have 15 rows, you can do it manually. What if you have 10,000 rows? You cannot do it. So that's why you need transformations, right? So what are the standard transformation that SAC offers? Okay, SAC offers concatenate. Okay, so you can combine two fields and concatenate them. Okay, you can split if you have data combined, and if you want to split them based on some column of some keyword, you can split that. You can extract, right? So if you want to extract something from a column, like many times in if you have a long address, you just want to extract a city or a pin code from that, right? You can extract that, right? And you, as we have seen example of UK and England, I have few places England and few places UK. I want to replace that. Okay, I want to make everything as England. Okay, so replace the United Kingdom with England. So I can do that also. I can change it. So it allows you can change the formatting of the data. It can be in camel casing. It can be in your uh, big words and sorry, what do you say? The full uppercase, lowercase. You can do that, right? So let's see for first example of concatenating it, right? So let me show you the demo directly here. Okay, let me push this first back to copper this one. Okay, everything looks good. Let me go back here. So what are my transformation? So I want to transform concatenate. Okay, so I want to concatenate, let's say my yes, I already have done it this manually, but I want to concatenate country and city. So how I will do that? Concatenate. So you will, as you have selected country already, so column, it will ask you which column you want to do, city, using value. Right, there you go. It created country and city transform concatenation. Right, it's a standard. This one we all have used it. Right, so you can do that. That's for the concatenate. What if I want to this together? I want to split it. Right, so I want to split it because my data is together, okay, into one. I want to split it, but you need to have one identifier there how you want to split it. So let's as I can see, I have a dash here. Okay, so split together column on, let's say this dash, okay, and repeat one. Okay, repeat that one for each of them. Okay, and you do that, and then let's enter. So it has together 1 and together 2. So it has split that into 2 also. Right? We'll have the data quality issue. That's okay. Right? Now coming to third one, extract. The same one. So it has done this, right? So I can go undo also. And whatever we are doing here, this page comes handy where it says transform log. Okay, so let's say instead of this, I want to extract. Okay, extract my, like we were also talking about the country and city, right? So let me extract it. So extract the number, okay, or the whole world or the everything. Okay, I just want to do have the everything after. You can have it before, between, containing, and everything. Okay, so after the first you see, okay, it can be second, last, or something. Okay, the first you see dash. Okay, so from together, so extract everything after the first dash from together, and then you can do and include this or that also, but we won't be doing that, and then enter. So it has extracted that, right? So it has, so I don't get so with split, it's splitting country as well as the city, but with extract, what it is doing is just extracting the city because I am interested in city only, right? So I just do that. Okay, now seeing a replace, where was our city, country, right? So I want to replace my so replace the cell, okay, in country matching value of I think it was United Kingdom with England. It updated, right? So you see all the this thing, whatever transformation you will do. So instead of detail, you see this screen. If you go to transform log, it will give you all the log of whatever transformation you have done. It will show you here. Okay, so these are the transformations here. So, and I can change it also. So change the country to uppercase. It just gives these three options to for the case only. Okay, lowercase, uppercase, or the title case. Title case is nothing but your camel can see. Right. So these are the options that you can do for your transformation. You are somewhere you are seeing this smart transformations also. So based on the data, okay, it will give you some suggestion also. So it's something the same thing. What we have the options here, you will get here also. So create a transformation. Okay, if you click on that, it will go there only. Based on the data, it is just giving you some suggestions. Let's say on this one, if I create it, it will give me some other suggestion that it doesn't have anything else, right? Let's say for continent, it will give me again convert and everything. So it just asks or gives you some suggestions also. So whatever you see here is the same thing. While you can do duplicate, delete column, hide this, you don't want to show it, or the delete the rows, right? You can delete the complete rows. So these are the options here for the transformations for a particular data. Any questions here? This is very standard, and you would have mostly used in Excel already. Okay, smart wrangling we have just seen already, and so let me move to hierarchy now. Okay, so hierarchy is the most important thing that we'll be using or seeing. Okay, so what I was talking about the action. Before I go there, I just want to complete the menu here. So file we have seen, layout we have seen. We can switch between the layouts. Okay, this you will see into story also. Well, display, you do display few or hide them, that you can do. Okay, you can sort them by any particular order or model structure. Okay, so it will sort them, and then it gives you this option of actions. So as you can see, there are a number of actions. So first one is the transformation bar, okay, that we have just seen. So if you uncheck it, it will just disappear. Okay, this is for the transformation. First one we have seen. This is for the geo map. We'll just see after the hierarchy. This is the hierarchy. Okay, let's go to hierarchy. So hierarchy you have seen. It's very easy to create a hierarchy here. Okay, so as in our data we have, let's say, hierarchy. Okay, so I want to name this. First you have to name a hierarchy. Let's say city hierarchy. Okay, you can see that I'm not able to put space in here. Okay, it doesn't accept a space. It has to be continuous word. Okay, that's one important part here. Okay, now you have to start with the bottommost column that would be there. So our leaf node, which we call, right, normally the leaf node should be here the bottommost. So we have the continent, we have the country and the city. So bottommost is city. So we'll have city. Okay, it's identifying 15 values there, which is good. And on top of it, okay, we'll have the country, right? So for the corresponding India, Mumbai and all that we're getting, and then on top of it we'll have the continent. Okay, so you can add others, but this is what I'm happy with this my hierarchy, and I'll just click OK. So you won't be able to change the name of your hierarchy after hierarchy is created. Okay, you can change the settings and everything, but the naming would stay the same. Okay, so you just create that. Okay, this is just a transformation. I'll go back to here. So when I click on city, okay, you can see the hierarchy, city hierarchy is already created. City, country and continent. Okay, when you are using it in a story, you will see that in our demo also, when I showed you, right? I will see the story, and then if you add the city column, okay, you will get that the view in a structural way of the hierarchy, that on the top you will see the continent, and then you have to drill down into country, and then drill down into city. So that will give you a complete picture of your hierarchy there. So that's how you will create your hierarchy here. Any question here? It's a simple one. I just wanted to give you, and it's very easy to add or delete. So you already created a list.
So it's only one hierarchy per model, or multiple hierarchies you can make?
That's what I've said.
Yeah.
So this is one we created. We can add more. I can add n number of them.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So basically, this is same as what we are creating in SAP BO custom hierarchy, right?
Yes. Hierarchy across. It's not tool specific, right? Hierarchy across the world, across the tool. So it will remain the same.
Thanks.
And the message I want to pass here is, don't get afraid, okay, with these words. It's all very easy and made easy with the machine learning behind the scene to create things. Tool, like when we saw our initial webinar also, right? Machine will be helping you to do these things now, okay? And it is projected for the business also to start using it, okay? So it has to be easy enough so that business, non-IT people will also start using it, okay? So that's the message. So I want to demonstrate it, that how easy it is and how machine is helping you behind the scene. Okay, don't get overwhelmed by with this big words. It's very simple and small. Yeah. Okay. Now let me move to the next one. So we see the hierarchy here, formula. Next one comes the formula. Okay, I'm keeping the geomap for the last. Okay, guys. Okay, so you click on that formula icon. So fx is your calculated column. So what if okay, I have the data, but I want to create something new also. I don't want to stick my data with that only. I want to create something more here. So I'll click on the columns for formula. So it gives me a this one GUI to create a formula. Okay, there are n number of formulas here. You just name it. What we can name it? I think that percentage. Okay, but let me not go there. Let me use the if condition here. Okay, so we'll use Asia or not. Okay. Right. So what I want to know is particular data that is available is from Asia or not? How we'll do that? So what we'll check is, so there are n number of it. I'll go through them, but just for an example, I'll just click on if. Okay, it gives you an editor. Okay, so it will give you what's the format. Okay, and then there is another method also. Control space, okay, that you will not get normally. Okay, so remember this, you have to remember it. It could be an interview question also, guys. If you come into your formula bar and you are not seeing any options, what is the keyboard, this one you have to change. Okay, so control space. As soon as you click on control space, you will get the auto suggestions with the formula, as well as if you scroll down to the list of this one, you will see all the columns or dimension that we have created. Okay, dimension and measures we have in the tool. You can play with it, you can have it. Okay, so you will get whole list here. Okay, so what I am saying is, if my city or my country, because we are going with this one, right? Country is equal to, oh sorry, I think we already have the continent, so I'll just control space again. I'll go to, come on, continent, and equal to Asia, then it is Asia, okay. So it will check. So if continent Asia, it is Asia. If else, no Asia, right? So we'll see the data preview also. It will check the formula also. Okay, you can directly see what will happen with your data if you have this, right? And you just click create, and you would be able to see the column here. Here we have it, right? So key takeaway, yes, in modeling you can create new columns. Yes, it can be based on formulas, okay, but and it is easy. It helps you with the auto suggestions, and it helps you with the format and everything. But the one problem is that it has a limited set of functions that you can use. Okay, this is long list. Okay, but it has this limitations. Okay, so it has functions, it has conditions, and or greater than on all that. Okay, and it has operators, which is plus minus and all those things, right? So this could be also one of the questions, that operator conditions we have and function is limited. So that's what you can get overboard with this one. Not all of them that are available. It is here. Okay. When I started 3 to 4 years back, this list was having only, I think, 7 to 10. Okay. Now it is growing like anything. Okay, so SAP is releasing with every quarter new functions that we can start using it. We cannot go through it all of it during our session, but I will encourage you to start creating it. Okay, for this one, as to give you an overview, I just want us to go to this link. Okay, so this help will give you all the formulas. What we are seeing is, main thing, just understand control space will give you this formula, or you can have this type this big bracket, and you will have the options there. Okay, and here, so it has divided that the structure it has showing is good. That's why I'm just showing you all the operator, addition, subtraction, division, and all those things. The formula and examples are here, parentheses. Okay, and then the operators and or equal to, all this you will see. Okay, and then we have the business functions. Okay, these functions are so again this formula options will get in story also. When we are creating story, we get in model also, but there are few things, few functions that are available only in model. Okay, so if you are not seeing that in the story, you want to do something there, you have to come back to modular and do it here, and then take it back to story. Okay, so whatever listed here, it will be available only in modular. Okay, when we are creating story, we'll see the difference already. Okay, so these are compound annual growth rate. This is more of the financial terms, all that. Okay, simple moving average, you might have seen year on year. So this is mostly used for the finance terms and the words there. Okay, linking, you can do the lookup and the linking between different models, and you can see that. Okay, and look up for a particular dimension you can see. Okay, and then restrict. You can restrict some value for a particular lookup. Okay, result lookup is nothing but returns a cell value based on the account and the list of dimensions. So it will return you account name, what account name it is using, and it will list you the dimension members. Okay, now here is the logical ones. If condition, so if condition then else also you can use as, and condition then also you can use instead of else, what we have used right now. Okay, this syntax is not supported for live models. If then else is supported for live, this one is not supported for live. Okay, remember that. Inverse function, you want to inverse so you have two formulas, you want to be based on the target, you want to inverse one of them. Okay, so you can use inverse with the if condition you want to put on top of it, you can use that. Don't get overboarded with this terms and all the formulas. Yes, they are there, but most of them are sometimes used only for financial world, or its uses in a very rare cases. Most of the time, the functions that you would be using would be your grand total, absolute, exponential things, log, and all those things, min, max, all these things, right? Which you are already aware. Okay, so don't get too much stress on. Okay, I don't know this formula. You can play with it, try it, but don't get if you are not able to crack it. Okay, substring, trim, length, concatenate, split. This we have seen all lowercase and all this, and you can convert also. Okay, so you can see the smallest number, defect, the double, float, and integer, and everything. So these are all the conversion. With date and time, it's important to note it's only one function that's available, date to for. Remember, sometimes we used to have a field which is a dimension, okay, but you want to convert into DDMM to MMDD or something, right? You want to convert into date, right? You cannot do it here. That's what main message I want to pass it here. You don't have a function to convert a normal dimension into a measure, into a date, sorry. Okay, so you don't see that here. So keep that in mind, that it has to come from source. If it's a date, it has to come from source only. You don't have an option to change that into SAC. If it's a date, yes, you can have the date difference between there, and you will get the number of days. Okay, so this is the long set of it, because it's here it is not divided into different sections, so it's difficult to understand and where they are. So that's why I'm bringing this. Was already handy, so I just used this one. Okay, okay. So this was about the formula. Any questions here? Okay. I'm missing anything, sorry. Hello, can you hear me? Is my voice still low?
No.
Clear.
It's clear.
No, right?
No, it's good, yeah.
Okay, so going from formula to combining the data. Okay, so let me combine the data now. So yes, you can combine the data. Okay, before I do that, let me. Okay, I have created this. So this looks good. I want to show you something. Okay. So now let me click on create model. Let's say I'm happy with this. Okay, so I create the model, and then it will ask me where you want to save it, right? So I just created a public folder for myself in week 2 training. I have city model, but I'll just add it as 1207, right? 0702, and just save it. So it's loading, preparing, so you can see all the progress that's going on. So till now, all the work we were doing, now it is saving the work and creating a model out of it, right? So shortly we should see that it is created. The point I want to show you here is when you create it, you get a different